back here at the NRA National Firearms Museum here at NRA headquarters, and the museum is open. So if someone comes up and you hear somebody talking, they're enjoying the gallery. So we're here at the Peterson Gallery. You know, Phil, we don't want to close it. We want to do this. We want people to see the beautiful treasures in here. And while we're doing this in Curator's Corner, and Phil, you've come up with another great idea. I don't know, you just keep coming up with great idea after great idea. Tell folks, give them a flavor of what we're doing for this particular series of Curator's Corners.
Well, John, there are a few number of individuals in my life that I hold with great esteem and high regard. And Robert Capa is a war correspondent, perhaps the best known photojournalist of the 20th century. And he's always been kind of an idol of mine. And on October 22nd was his 100th birthday. Oh. And so we've been looking at a Star of the Month for these Curator's Corner sessions, looking at the photography of one of the best known war correspondents, photojournalists of the 20th century, and taking a close look at those photos and identifying some of the guns that are in those pictures, and then we've been talking about the guns. Love it.
So what do we have for this segment?
Well, John, this is a photo that Capa took in Spain. He kind of followed the Republican forces. They were the ones that were loyal to the old government. They were also backed heavily by the communists, by Stalin, the International Brigade. They were fighting against Franco and the nationalists. It was kind of the romantic, side of the Civil War to be on, was with the International Brigade.
And just to digress for a second, if you're doing a movie, you'd look at that photo. It's such an iconic photo and so great snapshot of time. You try to recreate that. You could do all you could with costume and set, and you couldn't get to as real as that is. It's such a great photo.
It is, and Capa's pictures throughout his career are like that. He began photographing with 35mm camera in the very early 30s, and sadly by May 25th, 1954, in Vietnam, he stepped on a landmine at the age of 40 and abruptly cut short one of the most brilliant careers in photojournalism. Wow! But in those short 20 years, he left a mark that no other photographers come close to matching.
Amazing body of work, iconic photos, and iconic firearms. Let's talk about what's in that picture there.
Absolutely. In that picture, you see a number of Republicans gathered at a window, a barricade, shooting out, and you see that they are armed with Enfield rifles. This is actually an American gun. It was made by Remington. It's called the Pattern 14 because we sold them to the British during World War I. Okay. But by 1936, these were kind of in surplus throughout Great Britain, so a lot of them found their way to Spain, despite a League of Nations embargo against selling arms to the insurgents and to the belligerents. We've heard that before. These guns showed up in mass, and you can see clearly in the photograph this volley sight, on the P14. Now, the United States went into World War I with a nearly identical rifle made by Remington and Eddystone and Winchester, but in .30-06. Okay. This gun is in .303 British, as is the one in the photograph that Capa took. And of course, the U.S. version, the P17, doesn't have this volley sight on the side. So.
And how does that work, the volley? What does it do?
It's meant to give you an idea for elevation. Wow. For range and distance. It's got a great, a great sight here on the back, far more intricate than most military sights at the time needed to be.
Once they're in great technology on a firearm like that.
Oh yeah. But the neat thing is you can see very distinctively in a lot of Capa's pictures this very unique sight protector. You see a lot, so you can identify these guns just if you're looking at the muzzle. This sight protector, these what they call the wings, to guard the front sight, are very prominent. So it's obvious that the British were obviously supplying a great deal of you know, guns to the Republican forces. You see a lot of Winchester 1895s that we had sold to the Russians in World War I come back with Republican stamps on them for use in Spain between 36 and 39.
Amazing how that happens.
Yes.
Despite the what's that? It was the League of Nations, not the United Nations, the League of Nations embargo against sending over firearms.
Absolutely.
Amazing. A great story, a great firearm, and another iconic photo there. How can folks come and see these firearms here at the museum, Phil?
Well, John, folks can come by and see this gun and 3,000 others that are on display at the National Firearms Museum 7 days a week between 9:30 and 5. We're located just off Interstate 66 in Fairfax, Virginia. If you can't make us off the interstate, visit us on the internet 24/7, obviously, and that's at nramuseum.com.
Awesome, Phil. Thank you so much. A great theme here. I can't. Don't tell me. I don't want to know, but got to be here next week for next Curator's Corner here on Sportsman Channel to find our next iconic photo and iconic firearm here on the Curator's Corner.
Hey, John, we're going to take a break next week, aren't we?
Oh, that's right. Thanks for catching it. Yes, we have our special Veterans Day show next week. Thank you for You're better at this than I am. And then we'll be back with the following Monday with another special edition here of the Curator's Corner. We'll see you then, and see you next week for Veterans Day too.
Thanks again, John.